Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel, we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options, you are definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. And just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link for Webull. You could use it to start an account and get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation, leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any new videos. And let's get into the market today. Today is May 16th, 2021. It is a Sunday, so the market is closed. But on Friday, you could see everything finished green. The NASDAQ was the biggest leader of the day. We were up 2.32%. And you could see when the market opened, we saw just a bunch of buying. A lot of people were buying the dip on Friday because a lot of stocks have been beaten down recently because of this correction we've been going through in the NASDAQ. We are still yet to see a correction in the S&P 500 though. So just be careful going forward because there could be more volatility going forward with this S&P correction that everybody's looking for. So just watch out for that, and we'll get into the stock we are going to take a look at today. Today I wanted to take another look at BNGO and see what's been going on in the past couple weeks. I haven't done a video on them in about 2 weeks. So let's just take a look at their chart here and we'll see what's happening. So on Friday, they closed the day around $5.30. Actually, they closed the day around $5.40. They were up on the day 99 cents, which was the equivalent of 22.45%. After hours, they did drop about 10 cents, and they are currently at $5.30 after hours. They dropped 1.85% after hours. So going into Monday, we'll be looking for them to continue this little rally they had. I mean, they were up 22% on Friday, so be careful on Monday. You might see a little bit of a sell-off after the big day they had Friday. And let's look at their chart here. You could see their 52-week high is $15.69. They hit that on the 16th of February of this year, and that was about the day before the correction started. And you could see right after that, we have just been falling ever since, and it has not stopped. You know, we thought we reached a bottom around this point right here, at around, there was pretty strong support around the $5 area. You know, I did not see it dropping below $5 during this correction. I thought the $5 mark was going to be the bottom here. I thought this was going to be a double bottom. You saw it hit it during this area right here in this period. And last week we saw it fall, and I thought it was going to bottom back out at about $5, but we did see it drop all the way to a low right here of $4.30 on May 13th of 2021, which was about 3 days ago. So that was on Thursday, okay? And Friday, the next day, after their earnings report, we saw them gap up and leave this little gap right here. So, they did come out with their earnings. They had pretty good earnings. They had better than expected revenue. The loss per share was 4 cents per share. That was expected by Wall Street. So they didn't, fall below the expected loss per share. And, they had better than expected revenue on their earnings this quarter. So everything is looking up for this company. They're doing their thing with their Sapphire systems. And it looks like we might be seeing a little bit of a turnaround on the chart here, okay? So we'll take a look at that going forward. So getting into the chart here, we saw this gap. We gapped down in this area during the correction, so we left a pretty big gap up here around $11, and it looks like, let me zoom in here. Wait, that's the bottom. Let me zoom in. So we have a gap around $11.60, and we left that gap as we gapped down during the correction, and ever since then we fell below this trend right here, and we've been following it ever since. And it looked like right in this area A lot of stocks were starting to recover after the correction. It looked like we were going to break out of this downtrend here. And it was a false breakout for a couple days. We did test above this line here, but we ended up falling right back below that the next week. So, this was a false breakout. We saw a lot of stocks have the same pattern after, recovering from the bottoms of the correction, and they, falsely broke out to the top only just to be shorted again and driven the price further down, past the lows of the worst of the correction. And, we saw even lower prices right here. So, last week was not a good week for a lot of people holding these kinds of stocks, these high growth stocks. But, hopefully on Friday, it's showing signs of a recovery. It looks like a lot of people are going in and buying the dip on some of these companies. And, if they're doing that, then hopefully we're going to see a recovery as we move forward here. And it also was a great time for them to have earnings too, just coming out last week, because, Wall Street responded nicely with their earnings report. So this is a perfect time for them to see this bottom right here. I think this was way oversold, and this is a perfect time to see a reversal, and hopefully we can get back at least up and fill this gap right here to around $12. And that would definitely be more than a 100% gain from this area right here. So right now I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to bring up the RSI on here on the daily chart, and let me zoom out here, and you could see, we went from way overbought up at the highs here to, pretty much way oversold down here. Right in this area. So we are looking at, hopefully a reversal. We saw a little bit of a reversal here when it got down to this area on the RSI. So, you saw it go back up to around, looks like right here, $7.62. We did go back up to there only to fall even lower because of this correction. So we are going to be looking for a reversal from this area right here. Let me fix my trend line here. So we're going to be looking for a reversal from this area here, and hopefully, move on to retest this area up here. I'm going to be looking at that gap going forward, and we're going to see if we could go in and fill that gap coming up in the next month or two. So we also seen a reversal here because this did get very close to the 200-day moving average. And we saw a nice reversal off of that. We saw it get very close and almost just pop right off of that 200-day moving average on the daily chart. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we are under the 200-day moving average right here. And it looks like we're going to need to get, back above that to show any signs of strength here. But we're going to be looking first at the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. As you could see, it is very closely following my trend line here. And, I haven't really moved this trend line in a while, okay? I have moved it a couple times, but it's been sitting there for a while after we saw this false breakout in this area right here. We did see it pop above there a couple days, and on the daily chart, we did finish above there a couple days. It was acting as support for these couple days here. You saw, it bounced right off there and it held right here, but then on this day, it just fell right below there, and it hasn't been able to break out ever since, except for on Friday when we finally popped above there and we were able to hold above this trend line here. So I'll be looking at this trend line going forward, which follows our 50-day moving average on the 4-hour chart very closely, and our 21-day moving average on the daily chart very closely here. So once we pop above this 21-day moving average on the daily chart here, I think that'll show a lot of strength, and hopefully we will break these two moving averages also, the 30-day and the 50-day on the daily chart, and that will just confirm a reversal is happening, and we will look to the upside. But of course, we're going to have some resistance going forward. You could see we have resistance at around $8.30 right here. That will be our first resistance looking forward, and we will also have resistance at $10 as we go forward too. So if we're going to see a reversal, we're going to want to see this thing break above this $8.37 right here and the $10 mark. And also we are going to have small resistance around the $7 mark here. We saw it act as support during this correction. So we're going to want to see it get above there, and that's actually where our 50-day moving average is currently sitting. So, you know, it looks like, let me switch over to the 30-minute chart, see what we're looking at here, and you could see we've already popped above our 50-day moving average, our 30-day moving average, and our 21-day moving average. On the 30-minute chart, if we go over to the 1 hour, you could see we are above all those moving averages also. And let's lastly check the 15-minute, and you could see we are also above even the 200-day moving average on the 15-minute. So these are all signs of a bullish pattern moving forward, and hopefully we can maintain these moving average. I'm just going to check the 10-minute, and also we are above all moving averages on the 10-minute chart also. But you could see here we have a bigger gap over here on the 10-minute and also on the 15. Let me go back to the 15-minute to show you this gap. So you could see this gap right here is going to be acting as support going forward. These gaps usually act as support on these smaller time frames. So we'll be looking at this gap right here on the 15-minute as support. So the top of that gap is sitting at about $5. So that was actually support anyway, the $5 mark. That was former support that we lost in the past week and recovered on Friday. So we're going to be looking at that as a critical point right there to hold above $5, and we will see if we are able to hold that going forward. So switching back over to the daily chart, we're going to be looking at the RSI, and you know, you could also have the MACD up, and I'll show you that right now. Let's see here, and you could see, you know, we did get pretty low on this. We didn't get as low as, you know, over in this area when the correction was in full swing, but we did get pretty low here, and it looks like it is showing signs of a reversal right here. As we could see, our yellow line here is about to cross the blue line, so that is a sign of a bullish reversal right there. So I'll be looking at that on Monday also. And also on Monday, I'll be looking at it to hold above this trend line, which follows our 21-day moving average pretty closely and our 50-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to be looking and hoping that we'll stay above there. And going forward, I think this is going to be a pretty good time to get in on this stock if you want to ride it back up to the 30-day moving average, which is right here. It is currently sitting at $6.41, and you can see our 50-day moving average is sitting around $7. So if we do break through this 30-day moving average, which has acted as resistance before right here in this area around the end of April, we saw it get stopped out around there. You know, if we see it break through that, we'll be looking around the $7 mark as major resistance here. Okay, so if we see it break around $7 and keep moving up and pushing upwards, and if we get a lot of volume here, you could see the volume has really dropped off ever since this big run-up rate around this area when we saw the all-time highs. If we can break through that and keep pushing upwards past $7, I think we'll easily see this thing get up to $10 and possibly up to this area right here to fill this gap in. So major resistance moving forward, $7, and this 50-day moving average, wherever that moves going forward, that's what we're going to be looking at as major resistance. And if we break that, you know, we're going to be looking really good going forward. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll be doing updates in the next couple weeks to see where we end up. But, you know, this market's been kind of crazy. Every time you think you have a rally going on, like in this area, it seems to get stopped out somewhere and pushed back down. So hopefully this is the start of a reversal here, and we can move on to back where this thing belongs, up around this $10 area and possibly around this area right here to fill this gap in. Okay, especially with the numbers they came out with last week with their earnings. I think they deserve to be way higher than around $5. So that's just my quick update on BNGO. If you guys liked it, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new videos. And we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.